Epic sci-fi book Echoes of Lyra. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, where stars whispered ancient secrets and timelines wove like threads in a grand tapestry, the cradle of Lyra stood as a beacon of harmony. It was the birthplace of the Lyrans, ethereal beings of light and wisdom, guardians of the Avatar timelines. These timelines were not mere paths of history but living conduits of evolution, allowing souls to ascend through dimensions, free from the chains of domination. The Lyrans, with their flowing manes of starlit energy and eyes that reflected infinite possibilities, embodied service to others, a philosophy of unity, empathy, and shared growth. But darkness stirred in the shadows of distant constellations. From the cold, jagged voids of Draco and Orion slithered the reptilian races, ancient wanderers whose scales gleamed like obsidian under alien suns. Led by the Orion group, a cabal of warlords and manipulators, they had long abandoned the balance of creation. Their ideology was service to self, a ruthless creed where power was hoarded, weakness exploited, and survival meant conquest. They viewed the cradle of Lyra not as a sanctuary but as a prize, a nexus of timelines they could twist to fuel their empire of tyranny. The seeds of hatred were sown eons ago. The Orion group's forebears had once coexisted with the Lyrans in fragile peace, but envy festered like a venomous wound. The Lyrans' innate freedom, their refusal to bow to hierarchies, ignited a genetic loathing in the reptilians, a primal urge coded into their very DNA. "Why share the light when we can devour it?" hissed Lord Azazel, the supreme overlord of Orion, his forked tongue tasting the air of ambition. Under his command, fleets of obsidian warships, armed with plasma lances and mind-shattering psychic amplifiers, descended upon Lyra. The wars began with deception, as all great conflicts do. Reptilian infiltrators, shape-shifted into Lyran forms, sowed discord in the cradle's councils. Whispers of doubt turned allies against one another. The timelines are finite, hoard them for the strong. But the Lyrans, attuned to the universal hum, uncovered the ruse. Merida, a Morgana elder with visions that pierced veils of illusion, rallied her kin. "We fight not for vengeance, but for the soul of existence," she declared, her voice echoing through the crystalline spires of their homeworld. Hybrid warrior Zorith, torn between heritages, standing amid the ruins of a fallen Lyran outpost on a shattered planet. Half-scaled face with luminous Lyran eyes, pondering his duality with a hand on a psychic implant. The first battle erupted in the nebula of echoes, where timelines converged like rivers into a sea. Reptilian dreadnoughts unleashed barrages of dark energy, warping reality itself to trap Morgana's consciousness body in loops of spiritual torment. The air crackled with the screams of fractured consciousness as Morgana's light ships countered with waves of harmonic resonance, shattering enemy hulls and freeing ensnared allies. Ethereal blood, both luminous and viscous, stained the void. Azazel's forces reveled in the carnage, their service to self manifesting in brutal efficiency, planets glassed, populations enslaved, and psychic viruses deployed to instill fear. As the wars raged across constellations, the Orion group's descent into savagery deepened. They engineered hybrid abominations, half reptilian, half captured Lyran, to serve as shock troops, their minds twisted by implants that amplified hatred. One such hybrid, Siam, born from a forced union in the labs of Draco Prime, grappled with his dual heritage. "Am I a monster or a martyr?" he pondered amid the ruins of a fallen Lyran outpost. In a pivotal clash at the Vale of Avatars, Siam turned against his creators, aiding Merida in sabotaging a timeline anchor that would have granted Azazel eternal dominion. The Orion group's ideology seeped into vulnerable realms, propagating the victim-victimizer cycle, an insidious mind control where beings were programmed to oppress or be oppressed, perpetuating endless suffering. This poison reached Earth, a fledgling world in the Avatar timelines, where humanity inherited the genetic scars, wars, tyrannies, and the illusion of separation. The Lyrans, though battered, sealed the cradle, scattering guardians to watch over distant worlds. But the seal was not eternal. As the wars escalated, Azazel's forces unleashed a cataclysmic assault on the cradle itself. Dark energy vortexes tore through the nexus, shattering the planets of Lyra in a blaze of antimatter fury. The destruction was more than physical, it severed the avatar level of consciousness within the universal time matrix. The Lyran DNA, the pure embodiment of the silicate matrix, fragmented like shattered crystal, its capacity to manifest as crystal avatar humans lost in the void. These beings, once capable of bridging dimensions with effortless grace, now echoed as faint whispers in the ether. This timeline marked the true ignition of the Galactic Wars, a ceaseless battle over consciousness itself. It was the war of the Antichrist energies, embodied by the Orion Group's service to self, against Christos' consciousness of unity and the law of one. The reptilians, empowered by their victories, spread like a plague, their genetic imprints twisting the fabric of reality across harmonics. Earth, a seed world in the lower universes, became the next battleground. Ancient Lyran refugees, fleeing the rubble of their home, carried fragments of the silicate matrix to this blue orb, embedding them in the nascent human form. Eons passed in the blink of cosmic eyes. The seedings of the root races began, a deliberate reclamation effort orchestrated by the surviving Lyrans and their Syrian allies. Wave after wave of souls incarnated on Earth, each carrying codes to reassemble the original DNA lost in the Lyran Wars. The Orion Group and their reptilian descendants countered with infiltrations, hybridizing bloodlines to perpetuate division, pharaohs who ruled as gods, empires built on conquest, and shadows that whispered doubt into human minds. At the heart of this redemption lay the 12-tree grid, a sacred architecture woven by Lyran Syrian engineers. This multidimensional lattice spanned the lower harmonic universes, a blueprint to restore the avatar Christos silicate matrix. It pulsed like a living tree, its branches reaching into past and future timelines. Guardians like Merida, now a spectral guide traversing the veils, delved into fractured epochs. Retrieve the creation codes, she urged her kin, her form flickering in Earth's ancient temples. Alter the destruction from Orion's grasp in this present moment. In hidden chambers beneath pyramids and atop sacred mountains, human initiates, descendants of the Lyran seed, activated grid nodes. They journeyed through astral gates, confronting reptilian overlords in timeline skirmishes. One such warrior, a modern echo of Zorith named Yanas, awakened to her hybrid lineage during a solar eclipse. Visions flooded her, the cradle's fall, DNA strands unraveling like frayed threads. The war extends here, Merida's voice echoed in her mind. Reclaim wholeness, or the Antichrist devours all. As timelines converged, battles raged not in stars but in human souls. Reptilian agendas manifested as global manipulations, divisions sown through fear, technology twisted to enslave. Yet the Christos light stirred, root races awakening to their heritage. The 12-tree grid hummed stronger, pulling lost aspects back into unity. But the Orion shadows loomed, their final gambit unfolding in Earth's chaotic present. The wars were far from over, they had merely evolved, a cosmic chess game where every choice tipped the scales of consciousness.